What is up, my detail-oriented people? Rock D Lee here. You've probably heard the phrase, don't sweat the small stuff. But what if I told you, according to Stoic wisdom, the small stuff is exactly what you should be sweating? Today's lesson might just flip your perspective on details. And I got a story to tell you guys. I got a story to tell you, but I don't want to go too off tangent. So let me stick here, and please stick to the end. And you got to hear this story, okay? Because we're talking about details. All right, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor. This is not it, though. I'm going to stick with my script, and then I'm going to talk about this at the end. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor philosopher who ran the entire Roman Empire, understood the importance of details. For May 27th, the Stoic wisdom reminds us that excellence is built on small things done consistently well. As Epictetus put it, if you want to be a good reader, read. If you want to be a good writer, write. The Stoics knew that mastery isn't achieved through grand gestures, but through meticulous attention to fundamentals. The principle of sweating the small stuff is what separates the good from the truly great. Consider filmmaker James Cameron, known for his obsessive attention to detail. When making the Titanic, he wasn't content with approximations. He insisted on historically accurate silverware and china patterns in the dining tables. He had the ship's builders' original plans and made sure the set matched them down to the rivets. For Avatar, he developed an entire language and ecosystem for Pandora, creating details most viewers would never consciously notice. When asked why he goes to such extremes, Cameron explained that these seemingly minor details create a world that feels authentic and immersive. His meticulous focus on elements that many would consider insignificant has resulted in two of the highest grossing films of all time. Cameron shows us the excellence Cameron shows us that excellence emerges from caring about the smallest elements, from sweating the small stuff. All right? The Stoics would say that character is built the same way. Stoics are saying that character is built the same way, not through grand proclamations of virtue, but through small, consistent choices made with care and attention. The focus on small details often is what leads to breakthrough inventions. Thomas Edison's success as an inventor came largely from his methodical attention to minor details that others overlooked. His development of the practical light bulb required testing over 6,000 different materials for the filament, for each small adjustment carefully documented. When an assistant complained about the tedious process and all their failures, Edison said, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His famous quote, "Genius is 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration." This reflects his belief in the importance of sweating the small stuff. Okay? So now I want to go into, first I'm going to teach you your takeaway, and then we're going to go into the story. Stoics would recognize Edison's approach. They knew that excellence isn't about grand gestures, but the amount of accumulation to small and right actions. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without a frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. So here's your challenge today. Identify one responsibility where you've been cutting corners, overlooking details, making it a work project. Maybe it's a work project, a relationship, your health routine. That's what we're going to talk about. Even how you organize your space. Today, bring your full attention to the small details, to that one thing. What tiny improvements can you make? What small elements have you been ignoring? Remember, excellence isn't built on occasional heroic efforts, but through consistent attention to the fundamentals. So the story I wanted to share with you guys is, and this might sound mean, and I might do this video just separate by itself too, but I went out for ice cream with my family. Obviously we were cheating a little bit, and I was counting the calories on these two ice creams. I narrowed it down to two ice creams that I thought were equal in flavor, basically, but there was a difference in their calories. So I was like, I'm going to choose based on the calories. This lady scoffed and was like, basically, I'm a paraphrase, "Honey, you're in an ice cream shop. There's not a place to be worried about calories." I look over at her. The lady is 2 times my size. And I'm like, well, obviously, One of us pays attention to details and the other doesn't, or as far as because it shows, right? And I know it sounds facetious, and I don't mean to offend whatever position you're in, okay? But you just have to imagine the irony of, you know, the pot calling the kettle black, but doesn't even work because I am, taking care of myself. This is going to be a bad delivery. So I just got to say it. I clearly take care of myself, and this other person does not. Sometimes you can just tell that a person's even on a journey or something. It don't seem like this person's even trying right now. So, yes. In one thought, you have an ice cream shop. When you go, you enjoy yourself. If you're really on a diet, you don't worry about the ice cream, right? You wouldn't be eating ice cream in the first place. So that's what she's probably thinking. And I get it. That's how perspective is. She's like, honey, we're in an ice cream shop. This isn't the place to do it. My thought process is, then you tell me where, right? Where do you do it? Because you don't do it anywhere. And what I'm saying is, where I'm going is, because of my management of calories on a daily basis, even if I could save 50 calories here, 40 calories here, my thought process is this adds up. If in a day I avoid 50 calories here, 50 calories there, I've avoided 100 calories for the day. If I do that 7 days a week, I avoided 700. If I do that for 2 weeks, that's 1,400. If I do that for the month, that's 2,800. Seeing that there's 3,500 calories in a pound. If I do this for like 3 months, I've just put off about 3 pounds. I've avoided 3 pounds of weight in some category because of my 50 here and there. So even when I went to the ice cream shop, yeah, the ice cream already tasted. It's not like I was sacrificing flavor, tasting something that I didn't like just so I could save calories. And then you'd be like, yeah, you're in an ice cream shop. Just enjoy yourself. I tasted them and they were equal in flavor for the most part. So I was like, the determining factor won't be color. It won't be a coin toss. It would just be which one has the lower calories. What's wrong with that? That attention to detail in every meal I have, every time I drink something, every time I look at something, is how I have lost 60 pounds and keep the weight off, because I have to do that for everything. And sometimes when you start letting go a little bit, it was already bad enough to let go to go to the ice cream shop, but you start letting go too much, before you know it, you put on all that weight. Now, even going to the ice cream shop was built in. I had breakfast, which was an oatmeal, and I had 4 pieces of chicken, right? So I avoided all carbs during dinner/lunchtime, because I know I'm going to have this ice cream, right? So then when I went and had this ice cream, I was like, how clean can I possibly have this ice cream? Even when I order ice cream, I know I'm talking a lot on this ice cream, I usually order ice cream with the least amount of ingredients. So yeah, you put that attention to detail in everything, right? For the most part, and the results, you'll feel the results. It's not perfect, because again, yeah, I'm in an ice cream shop, but I'm prepared for this ice cream because of my attention to detail, because of my attention to calories, and it's because of that why I'm still questioning calories at the ice cream shop. So I could go on and on and on about that. It is not, and I actually should have started the story better. I'm going to be honest with you. It did start off with a little emotion, because there was really no need to emphasize the weight difference, but it was one of those things where it was important to know that I was doing it right. And the irony, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. Like, you have to know your position before you criticize others. You see? You see how much thought I put into this? Because I'm not just trying to talk for the sake of talking, right? I'm thinking about the implications of my words. So you have to know, when you looked at me, right? And you saw my form and I was counting calories. To me, rather than scoff and mock me, right? I think it's like, wow, he's able to look like that and he still eats ice cream. There's something he's doing that makes sense. How is he able to do it? How is he so slim, yet he's in the ice cream spot? Like, those are the kinds of things that a person should think in that position, rather than try and knock me down. when you have something that you could also learn. You see? That's what I'm trying to say, and I have to be very tactful about it because I don't want a bad message. I want you to focus on A, the details matter, and B, sometimes you should look at somebody and not try to knock them down, but try to understand their process and see what you can learn from that individual. Like, even in this message, you could focus on, oh my God, Leah's looking down on people because there's a weight difference. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say focus on details and ask the right questions. Don't scoff and lead to negative judgment. Why? Ask the right questions and you will get better. Anyways, I hope I got out of there just all right. If you guys like my content, you like this keeping it real, you have some thoughts, I like you guys to subscribe and let me know. I know I touched it. I touched on a sensitive subject, but hey, and you're gonna hear me talk about it twice. 'Cause I'm gonna do a separate video about it. Until next time, guys, you already know I'm Rock D Lee. Bye.